Hey everybody, welcome to the Crypto Beach. Today we're doing a fantastic interview with Tina, aka XDomina. She's gonna share how she got into crypto, some tips and trends and insights that are really exciting to her. So without further ado, Tina, go ahead and let us know what happened. How'd you get in?
Hi everyone. So yes, I'm Tina, aka XDomina. I started my crypto journey probably in October officially. I started my Twitter account, and but prior to that, my husband kind of onboarded me. He he was super into this for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh my god, I'm buying this monkey, this JPEG of a monkey for 5.4 ETH, and I don't know what I just did. Like, why did I do this? This is insane. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, now you have to hold it. Like, that's your thing now. Obviously 2 months later, it shot up to 40 ETH, and it's obviously Bored Ape Yacht Club. So I was like very curious to see, like, you know, what the intricacies are of this industry and this community. I was like, how does something like, you know, a picture of a monkey, you know, grow in that much popularity and start this great, amazing community? And I want to be a part of it. Like, I want to be a part of this new trend. I want to be a part of this awesome, fast moving, you know, industry. So in the beginning of October, this is me candid. So the beginning of October, I started my Twitter account and I instantly fell in love with the community. I got my first PFP project. I instantly clicked with a ton of people. I started building my community and my followers, and I decided to release my own NFT project. So I'm actually a one-of-one artist. I am a makeup artist and a boudoir photographer in real life. So I decided that I wanted to release some of my boudoir work to empower women. I saw there was a need for that in the space, that a lot of women, you know, weren't feeling heard or seen. So I figured, what better way to, you know, onboard women and to make them feel powerful in this space than to show the power and beauty in our bodies and in my artwork. So I released that. I just released it last Friday, which is
Congratulations.
thank you, December 10th, which was last Friday. And yeah, and it's going great. And that's it. I'm here and I am a part of amazing communities. I've made the best of friends. I feel like I'm neglecting my real friends for these people now. They've become family. And yeah, so it's been a whirlwind, but it's been fantastic.
Awesome. That's really great to hear. This has been a net positive for you. Based on your experiences, I mean, it's pretty rare to be in that position you're in, where your husband was just, he was one of those few who had the foresight to get in on the Bored Ape. And then now you're kind of seeing kind of like the high end of how things can move in this space. For you, what kind of tips do you feel would have been relevant, coming into crypto, that you could share with the audience?
Sure. I think one of the biggest tips that I wish that I would have known coming in was there are a lot of scammers out there. There's more so good people than there are of the scammers, but there are definitely like PFP projects that are dropping constantly, that are rug pulls that, you know, you get into and all of a sudden, you know, they leave you high and dry and there goes your money.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that going into it, because I've definitely like bought into some hype and definitely have lost money in the process. Just because I was naive. I got into the community, I saw everybody was fabulous, and I had this, you know, honeymoon phase where I just thought everything was good and fine. So I wish I would have known that. But in hindsight, I feel like I really think I did everything as good as I possibly could to get to where I am right now. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Awesome. Where do you feel like things are going? I mean, and in terms of NFTs, well, let's take a step back. Let's not even look at just NFTs, but in terms of your art and how you see your art growing and being adopted into the community, like, if you could envision a perfect outcome, what would that be?
So I definitely think I started on like my release was around the same time that photography was starting to boom.
Yeah.
For a while, it was not about true art. It was not about, true photography. It was more about the PFP projects and the generative projects that were coming out. I definitely see this going in that direction where once you have your favorite PFP that you want to represent you in the metaverse and you have that, identity, that you're going to want to start building your community and you're going to want to start, putting things on your walls in the metaverse. And kind of a flex would be having a piece of art from a up and coming artist. So I definitely see photography and art going in a really great direction for 2022, which I'm really excited to be on like the forefront of that.
That's a really great. So thank you so much for that response. I think it was actually really well thought out. That brings us to the next kind of conversation around the metaverse. Based on your experience in the metaverse, what are some of the highs and lows? The good things where, you see a lot of promise, and some of the challenges that might still remain, as far as kind of like really getting to the next level.
So I think some of the setbacks so far is that, I think it's hard to build in there as an individual. I think that a lot of the projects are taking it under their wing of like creating their own space. Like I'm a part of the Gutter Cat Gang, and they're really utilizing that for a space for their community to go and hang out in. But again, like it's not there yet. Like it's just not ready. But I do have like a friend who is building a whole space for people to have their own galleries. I think that's going to be huge. I see it coming, but I feel like it might take a little bit of time. But I think it's going to be really cool to like be an avatar, like hanging out in the metaverse, like going to a fake bar, like hanging out with friends, like, but you're also like a cat. Like, I think that's going to be pretty cool.
That's really interesting. That's a really interesting
It's going to be like a whole new world that we're going to experience. I'll never leave my house again. It's just
are you somebody who, played video games in your childhood at all or anything like that growing up?
I did. I actually had, oh my God, I'm dating myself. I had Sega Channel back in the day, where like they just like uploaded a bunch of new games every week. So I was definitely into that, but as an adult, I really haven't. So this is kind of going to be like a fun way to get back into like feeling like a kid again, I feel, for a lot of us, but also have the opportunity to possibly make money doing it, meet new friends, new people. It's going to be kind of a new experience, but also make you feel like you're a kid again and like enjoying it that way. It's going to be pretty cool.
That's dope. That's dope. You sound really optimistic about it, and for very good reason. I think it will create that nostalgia you're describing. What would you say is the biggest difference between your online friends and your in-person friends?
So I feel like, and it's so crazy. And I hope even when like this whole community gets bigger and, goes worldwide, I hope the sentiment kind of remains the same. Everyone in this space right now, they're all very like, they're all cheerleaders. Like they're all there for each other. I feel like everybody in there just embraces each other. There is no one's jealous. No one's trying to take anything from you. Everyone's trying to give back to each other. And it's been a very beautiful society to kind of live in. And it's becoming very addicting. So when I pull out and I see, my friends on the outside, like they don't understand this world at all. I've been trying, they don't get it. But like, my friends in this space and Twitter, like they're the ones who's reaching out, asking how I'm doing. Like, it's just such a loving community. So I've been forgetting I have real friends. I like forget to like call people now. They're like, Tina, where have you been? I'm like, I don't know. I'm in Twitter world.
So do you feel, I agree with you completely. Like the whole Twitter Spaces thing, you know, it's really interesting. The word cheerleader and loving resonate with me when you say it, because that's what it does feel like. It feels like a place where you are going to be valued because you are human and because you are trying to learn something new. And I think that's really important. And maybe not something we practice in our everyday life as much, but when we all come together around this new technology that we're all kind of struggling to really perfect and master, it's almost like humans supporting each other during the transformation. So that's
Yes.
awesome. That's really
Yes.
awesome.
And it's so cool that, like, I say this all the time. It's kind of like, so they have the Twitter Spaces. It's kind of like you're going through a museum and you get to press a button and like hear from the artists themselves and to explain like what's like behind their art. And I think that is the most like amazing thing you could possibly ever bring to this world is, you know, for so long, art was just depicted by, you know, kings and queens, and, you know, society never really had a say, and society never really got to know who the artists were behind these like epic portraits and paintings and whatnot. And now, like, we actually get to talk to the humans that are going to be probably the next Picassos. Like, it's amazing that we have that insight now, that we can actually have like communications with people who are going to be building a whole new world, and we're here on the ground floor and we get to meet and talk to them. It's amazing.
That's so true. Wow, well said, well said. You know, from a kind of you know, just comparing where things are today versus where things are going to be in the future. I know you mentioned that like it's going to be kind of better, like things are going to be happening in the metaverse. You know, as far as other elements of crypto outside of NFTs, maybe the world of DAOs or DeFi, are those spaces that really attract you as much, or do you prefer to stay within the NFT kind of realm of things?
So so I'm definitely into like the coins. Like I have I have Ethereum. Like I've definitely bought into that. I think that is definitely going to be the next source of money. You know, getting banks out of the equation,
Yeah,
putting money back into our own hands, I think is going to be pretty huge. And
yeah,
once people realize how like life changing that's going to be, that we actually get to like hold our own money and decide where we want to put it and how we want to grow it, is going to be astronomically gigantic. I can't wait for that to actually happen. But I'm primarily like the DAOs. We'll see, you know, like I don't think
yeah.
we haven't really seen what a DAO can actually do besides, you know, the bigger DAOs that already happened that try to get, what was that? They try to get like the
Constitution.
Constitution,
Yeah.
yeah, like stuff like that. But as far as like these littler projects go, yeah, we'll see how they go. I think it's cool that we get an option to have a say in how our money is being represented. I think it's going to be pretty cool that way. But well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have like an actual answer for that. I'm
Definitely.
kind of in all of it. Like I'm very curious about everything right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my experience has been it just feels like there's so many things going on. And for me, it's always kind of, at least as I do these interviews, focusing on, you know, just kind of getting to learn the experience is a lot, you know. So when my buddies are like, check out this DeFi chat, I'm like, okay, I get it. I see that there's a lot going on there,
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother rabbit hole, you know? And it just seems like a lot of the just kind of everyday folks that are artistically inclined or have creative, you know, abilities are really onboarding because of NFTs, maybe not necessarily because of DAOs or some of these coins. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. I'll be honest. It's very overwhelming, and we're just starting. So who knows how big and massive this is going to get, and how many different rabbit holes we're going to go down at this point. I've been in it for a while, like 24/7, and I still don't understand a lot, like Web3 a lot. I don't understand it all. I can't wait until I do. But I mean, I also have like 2 companies. Like this would need to be a full-time job of not getting paid to understand what's happening here.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
it's almost
100%
like
right.
we need a bunch of different people who are experts to then come together and talk about it. That's what we need.
While we're on the topic of it being overwhelming, the last thing I was hoping that we could touch on is mental health and how maybe, you're kind of managing that. This is a big topic in the community, and I just want to get your impression of it and kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to it is really easy to kind of get sucked into this world of, they know you, but they don't know you. And how
Yeah.
much do how much doxing do you do? How much do you let people know?
What's doxing, by the
So
way?
doxing is that's when you like show your face and who you are.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So like you as a human, whenever like you're doxing, it's like either your face or like a personality trait or something about yourself that other people in the metaverse won't know yet. Um, so yeah, I use that all the time. See, this is what happens. I talk to my friends and they're like, "What are these words?"
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's the whole purpose of the podcast. Is so we tackle some of this, it's just, yeah, go ahead.
So, and I've actually helped a few people already who are struggling through depression. I mean, a lot of artists right now who aren't getting any sales, who don't know how they're introverts, they don't know how to put themselves out there to get these sales and things like
Yeah,
that. I'm heavy in the art community. So
yeah.
I've actually helped a few of my friends go through that as well. Just recently. And you can get down on yourself. You're like, why is this selling? That's a mushroom. Like, why is that selling and my beautiful art that I hand painted isn't? And I can see where that can kind of get you a little bit. But if you just take a step back and breathe and you realize how much beauty and how many people are actually there for you in this community, because we're all learning together and we're all growing together, like you said, there's so much support. There's so much support. And anybody can always come into my DMs. I will always be your cheerleader and I will throw in the funniest gifts and I will help anybody through anything. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I think something that's super unique about this space is folks getting involved are creating a better life for themselves. They're creating impact
Yep.
and they're creating community.
Yes.
And it's really powerful to see, in this day and age, especially given what happened during the COVID,
Yeah.
with George Floyd, just there was
Yeah.
all this kind of
Yeah.
division and yeah. So
And you don't really see that very much in this community. Like
yeah,
there is no division. I mean, you get into spaces and you're talking to people from all over the world, all different
yeah,
walks of life, and everyone's just communicating and having a great time because you're looking at a PFP of a squirrel and you're like, it doesn't matter who's behind it. Like they're a human and we're having a great conversation. And I think that's the beautiful part of this whole community.
exactly.
And yes, I mean, I was out of a job for like a year and a half. I wasn't making money. So this was a way to supplement that as well. So yeah, this is really a cool space to get into, to better your life opportunities and to build friendships. I think, yeah, I'm here for it.
Awesome.
Here for it.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Before we go, just go ahead and share with the audience the nature of your project, where they can find it, just all of your general plugs. We want to give you the opportunity to share some of the stuff you're working on.
Awesome. Yeah. So I just launched a project. It's called Dangerous Curves. It is basically it's the female form in its rawest. It's meant to empower women. It's meant to show, the strength behind our curves and to embrace them for what they are, and for men to appreciate them. And it's kind of funny because mostly it's been women who have been buying my art, and which I think is absolutely beautiful. That's strong in itself. And yeah, I don't think we should be hiding. I'm here to represent, women who feel like they are constantly needing to cover up, and be ashamed of themselves. And I'm trying to come up and let them know that every woman is beautiful, every body is beautiful, every everyone's beautiful and we should all embrace it and love it. So yeah, so I am a boudoir photographer, so that's what I do on the daily. So it was kind of easy to kind of bring that to here. I just kind of switched it up and made it a little bit more artsy with this collection. So I'll be releasing 50 in total, and after every 10, another 10 will drop. So yeah, that's it. Dangerous Curves. I'm excited.
And your Twitter handle is
XDomina.
XDomina. All right, you guys know where to find her. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.